name is Kristen Olson. I'm a senior at Spring Lake Park High School. You've probably seen me around here a little bit. I'm here sometimes like every second of my life. This church has given me a lot of opportunities growing up. I've been on the youth committee, youth representative of the youth committee, especially in leadership, like with leading Vacation Bible School, Summer Stretch. I had my first job here as a sophomore. Leading the youth worship band has been a huge learning experience for me, and in music and in leadership, and helping others to grow closer to God. I've met almost every single one of my best friends in this church, and I've had the best memories in this building. Up until 9th grade, I was involved, but it was mostly kind of like in choirs and bells and a lot of those kind of things. I still sometimes will wake up in the middle of the night or be doing the dishes, and I'll suddenly start singing a song from the musical I was in, and I think to myself, wait a second, I haven't heard this song in 7 years. How do I still know the words to this? That was a huge part of my life back then. Camp was a huge part of my faith journey and faith development. I would literally pack 2 months in advance. I'd have my bag, my huge duffel bag, and I'd bring it out in the kitchen, and I'd go, Dad, I'm ready for camp. And he'd look at me and go, do you even know that camp is not for another 2 months? I'd go, yeah, but I'm so ready to go, and I'm gonna leave this right by the front door. And he goes, no, stop. Hold on. We are not gonna be stumbling over this duffel bag for 2 months. And so you bring it back to your room. So that was where I learned the importance of valley and mountaintop experiences, and to trust God even in those valley times, that He is still there and He's still with me, even when it doesn't feel like it. And so it's like a trusting experience. Once I hit high school, I started doing all the mission trips, summer high school hangouts, retreats, softball, and that was kind of close to the time, it was about September of my freshman year, that Angie came, and she was a huge part of what made church really important to me and what made it feel like a safe haven for me. And I remember the first time I met her, we arm wrestled, and I think my favorite thing about us is that we were exactly equally matched. Then later in New Orleans, we arm wrestled again, and the only reason I lost is because she wiped her sweaty forehead on my hand, and I went, and I had to let go. But I knew, like, the day that I met her, I knew that she could be someone that I could trust, and that's still true. She's still there for me. We're still really close. Her daughter is my best friend, more like my sister, and she's been kind of like a mom for me. My favorite thing that she said to me once, I was having a rough day, I sent her a text and I said, who even invented the age 17? And her response was, the same person that invented the porta potty. I think I laughed for 20 minutes. It made my day so much better. Not only that, but she helped me grow spiritually. She reminded me that God is there even when I don't see Him, and that even in places where I wouldn't normally see Him, I should look for Him, and try to, build my faith through everyday experiences. She reminded me of the importance of prayer, and that is a major way that we stay in contact with God. She encouraged and helped me develop my leadership in music. It's partly because of her encouragement that I got really involved with the band and leading, and she always believed in me, and her support, strength, love, encouragement, and all that kind of kept me going through the rough times. And now we have Ashley, who's fun, and she has so much energy. I don't even know how she stays so energized. But getting kids to come is a big thing that she's done, and I think it's amazing. And I am a firm believer that everything happens for a reason, and I think it's awesome because I feel like God brought Angie to kind of build up the existing youth group with her encouragement, and then Ashley came and used the existing youth group and she used her energy to get more kids coming, and I just think it's cool because everything that God does, He's working for a purpose. I think that's awesome. Back when Angie was here, one of my favorite trips was the Duluth trip, and we had the perfect group going. It was a middle school trip that I chaperoned. We had just 5 kids, a really small group, but it was awesome. We served around Duluth, and we worked at the Union Gospel Mission. We served food there, and we met this man that I think taught us more than anything else we had ever heard of or learned on that trip. He'd been in AA 5 times and finally realized he needed to turn his life around. And so he started searching for God and really pursuing God. And we played Uno with him for probably 2 hours, and he kept whipping out these memorized Bible verses like an everyday Pastor Chris. I don't know if you know if Pastor Chris has done memorized gospel. It's amazing, and he was almost the same. It was awesome. We also one time went to clean a house of a couple that lived out on the reservation, and the directions that we got were completely wrong. And so when we went, if we had followed the actual directions, we never would have found it, but we took a wrong turn and ended up finding the house, which I think was also God, like showing us, just leading us on the right path. I think that was cool to see God there. My favorite part about the trip was probably watching the kids grow and mature and serve. We had a couple kids that kind of butting heads most of the trip, and on one of the nights we were coming back from the beach, and they sat together, and Angie and I looked at each other and we said, this is not good. But by the end of the trip, the girl got out and she said, you know, I sat by that boy and it was actually relaxing. And we looked at each other and we were like, what just happened? But it was really cool. We loved it. So all of this, plus church support, I mean, all of you, your congregation support, the church family the amazing people I've met here, and the inspiration from Angie. Angie kind of brought out my passion for God and my passion for working with people. All of that kind of brings together my plan for next year, which is to go to University of Wisconsin, River Falls, and pursue degrees in psychology and sociology, and eventually work in youth ministry. And I don't know if it'll be necessarily in a church, but for sure in youth ministry. So I just want to thank everyone for all of your support and your love and your encouragement. Thank you.